Well, I've spent a few weeks looking at the data. It's really quite voluminous. There's a lot there, and it's very complex data. There's data that's never been seen before, which is useful to know what people are earning 10 years after entering college. That's really quite potentially useful information. It's a little dangerous because earnings is not what college is all about. It's certainly a piece of it. People go to college for a whole variety of reasons, earnings just being one of them. But if you want to focus on the earnings, it does provide earnings data that we've never seen before.
And what would you caution parents against looking at that data individually for their students?
Well, if you try to compare schools, you might find, if you look up, I won't mention anybody by name, if you look up school X, you find people average $41,000 10 years after entering college, and school Y, they earn $50,000. And you might be led to believe, oh, well, my child, or if you're a student looking at this yourself, you might say, I'm likely to earn more money if I go to school Y because the earnings are higher. Unfortunately, you can't reach that conclusion because the data is not for individual students. It's the average for that whole school. So if you believe that somehow going to school where the average is higher means you have a better chance of earning a higher salary, well, then you could use it that way, but I don't think you can reach that conclusion. And anybody knows a lot of what you get out of college depends on what you put into it and what you bring to it. So it could be that what you bring to college X, which has lower average salaries, will get you a much higher salary later on. And there's simply no way a parent can tell that by looking at this data, since it doesn't provide data about individual students. It's for the collective of all the students that went to that school.